Hello everyone, I am Rahul and welcome back to my channel Rahul Education Academy. In today's lecture, we will discuss about laws of chemical composition. These laws describe the basic principles obeyed by interacting atoms and molecules. Chemical reactions occur constantly around us and they can be very complex to understand. However, the beautiful thing about this chemical reaction is that they are all fundamentally governed by same laws of chemical reactions. This law not only help us in understanding chemical reaction currently occurring, but also help us in designing new chemical reactions. So, let us understand what these laws are. The first law is law of conservation of mass. According to this law, during any physical or chemical changes, there will be no net change in mass. This means mass can neither be created or destroyed. So, in a chemical reaction point of view, this means that the amount of mass used as reactant will be equal to the mass produced after the chemical reaction. So, let us understand this via an example. And the simplest example I can think of is water. So, in water, you have two hydrogens and one oxygen. So since you have two unit of hydrogens, you have contribution coming from is to be 2 grams, and from oxygen you have 16 gram. The total is from 2 hydrogens plus oxygen will form H2O, and the total will be 18 grams. So the total will be 18 grams. So as you can see, you have 18 grams on the reactant side and you have 18 grams on the product side. This is the reactant side. This is the product side. This is the product side. So this is the first law, which is known as law of conservation of mass. The second law is known as law of definite proportion. This law states that the composition of compound always remains constant. This means you take any compound and whatever will be the source of that compound, whether you have synthesized that compound or you have obtained those compounds naturally, the composition of those compound will always remain same. The element and the amount of element present in those compound will always remain same. The ratio of the amount of elements present in that specific compound will always remain constant. you cannot change the composition of a given compound. And again, I will use the example of water. So in water, you have H2O. So as we saw, you have 2 gram coming from the hydrogen and 16 gram of mass coming from the oxygen. So you have a ratio of 1:8. So no matter what sample of pure water you take, you will always find that the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in water will always be 1:8. No matter whether you take the water coming down from rain, you take the water sample from the river or oceans, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in that water will always remain 1:8. You cannot change the composition of a given compound. If you are changing the composition of a given compound, that means a reaction is taking place and you are actually creating a new compound. The third law which we need to understand is law of multiple proportion. Law of multiple proportion. According to this law, if two elements form more than one compound between them, then the ratio of the mass of the second element which combine with the fixed mass of the first element will always be ratio of small whole numbers. I'll try to explain this in a very simple language. You take two elements, and when you take different composition of those elements and combine them, you get two different compounds. And then when you see the ratio of one of the elements which is present in both but in different ratio, and take the ratio of those two elements, that ratio will always be a small whole number. This will be more clear when we discuss it with an example. Again, I'll take the example of water and water peroxide. In both cases, you have hydrogens and an oxygen. In water, you have two hydrogens and one oxygen. And in hydrogen peroxide, you have two hydrogen and in hydrogen peroxide we have two hydrogens and two oxygens. Now when we see hydrogen and hydrogen peroxide, we see that the composition of hydrogen doesn't change. What changing is the ratio of oxygen present. In water, the mass of oxygen present is 16 gram. In hydrogen peroxide, since we have two oxygen, that mass is 32 gram. So law of multiple proportion, the ratio of the ratio of the second element present will be in a whole number ratio with the oxygen present in the second compound. So you have 16 gram in ratio 32 gram. So the ratio is 1:2. So this is the law of multiple proportion, where the oxygen is present in 1:2 ratio. And the hydrogen becomes our first element because the composition of hydrogen between water and hydrogen peroxide is not changing. This is the composition of oxygen which is changing, and is changing in whole number. Apart from these three laws, there are two more laws which we'll need to understand. The first law The fourth law that we need to understand is law of gaseous volume. Laws of gaseous volume. This is also more commonly known as Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume, which is on the name of the researcher who discovered or who proposed this law. According to this law, at a given temperature and pressure, the ratio between the volume of gaseous reactant and product can be expressed in simple whole number ratio. In simple terms, you take a reactant and you take a product of where the reactant and product both are gases, and at a constant temperature and pressure, you can put there will be a ratio between the amount of reactant and the amount of product. Here I will give a simple example of hydrogen chloride, where you have H2 plus Cl2, both are gases, and when you combine them through chemical reaction, you will get HCl. So you have one volume of H2, you have one volume of Cl2, and you have two volume of HCl. So you can simply describe this whole chemical reaction in a ratio 1:1:2. So according to laws of gaseous volume, you can describe the reactant involved and the product in a whole number ratio. The fifth and the final law that I am going to discuss today is the Avogadro's law. Avogadro law, named on the scientist who proposed this law. This law is also for gases, and it's for the ideal gases. In future lectures, we will understand what is ideal gases and non-ideal gases. But currently, we'll try to understand this law in a simple way that at a given temperature and pressure, for a given volume of gas, the number of molecules will be same. This law states that if you have, say, the volume of gas you have is V1, it will have a constant number of the molecules in moles. That's why I represented it by N, because if you see in last lecture, the mole is represented by the symbol N. But so this will always be constant. If you have this number of gas for a given element or a given compound, the number of molecule present on that volume of gas will be constant. If you change the volume, say you change the volume to V2, the number of molecules will also change accordingly. So suppose, just for an example, you have 1 liter of gas and it has 1 mole of molecule. If you change the volume to 2 liter, it will have 2 moles of molecules. If you change the composition to 2.5 liter, you will have 2.5 moles of molecule. In simple word, the volume is proportional to the volume of a given gas is proportional to the number of molecules present in that volume. So in today's lecture, overall we discussed about different laws of chemical composition. I hope you liked the lecture. Please leave your comments and suggestions so that it will help me in improving my future lectures. Thank you.